So go ahead and clear that. And we'll go ahead and get started. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, go! So we'll get to see the out-of-bounds glitch on Guandu
Show
twice.
him your fangs, man!
Yo, Chan.
Throughout the run.
What are you doing
once
on the
is Yuan
battlefield?
Shao, and then once is Shuo-Si. And it
looking
doesn't matter.
good.
It doesn't matter what dialogue boxes we skip or anything now, because as soon as we kill Cao Cao, like ending the level is the only thing that's gonna immediately kill the dialogue boxes and just end it. Sometimes there is a required, like outro or something for the character, but or some like taunt message for your character that happens once you defeat the enemy commander. But as soon as that's done, the level's over. There's nothing else to it. It doesn't make you sit there and wait for anything else. It's over. This is going about as well as last time. Right, off the horse. Ugh. This character is not great, guys. Alright, so next. Alright, so next is Hulao Gate. Let me pull up my list here in a second. And the level's loading. Okay. Alright, so we're just gonna rush Yuan Shao again and end this. It stinks because I was very enthusiastic about making sure I had commentary last run, but now that I know the glitch is possible, I suppose I'll do commentary again.
Exterminate them!
Similar
That's
stuff.
right. Bring on the entertainment.
So anyway, right now the coalition forces are joining up against Deng Zhuo, who's kind of he's a tyrant at this time. He's basically
Don't
holding
let
the
any
Emperor
enemy
captive.
officers pass the Hulao Gate.
And we,
I have a
as the
reputation to
other
uphold, you know.
category, are not
You'll
playing
not
as
get
characters
passed up so
from,
easily.
what will eventually be the Three Kingdoms. At this point, the Three Kingdoms are established, but we're not playing as the good guys right now. We're definitely playing as more of the bad guys.
I shall be your opponent.
But again, like these Musaos, which are Musao has two meanings in this game. Musao, one refers to the campaign mode, which I'll generally call campaigns, but I might sometimes refer to as Musao, because that's what it's actually called in the game.
Enemy officer defeated.
And then there's Musao, meaning the special attack. When you use your bar below your health bar, you burn that, and your character has a special attack, also called a Musao. So it's kind of confusing. Anyway, so these levels are a bit fictitious because, most of the characters in the other category are not affiliated with the Three Kingdoms, meaning that they were probably defeated pretty early or were handled at some point by, one of the warlords or the Three Kingdoms. So anyway, these campaigns in particular are somewhat accurate in terms of, like, the battle might have happened, but most likely they didn't win the battle. And
we will attack Gongsun Zan.
And yeah, so it's just for fun, it's to give the characters a
enemy.
story and to be somewhat historically accurate. Now, this game takes place during about 200 AD.
Let's just watch how things play out.
At the fall of the Han Dynasty, eventually being succeeded by the Jing Dynasty,
into an enemy ambush.
Dynasty, which, interestingly enough, is not any of the Three Kingdoms, but it did come from one of the Three Kingdoms. So,
Let's hold off
there's an
and regroup
officer
with
in
our
this game.
host.
If you're familiar with Dynasty Warriors or the Three Kingdoms period, you're familiar with Sima
It's
Yi.
about time I faced a
Sima Yi
worthy
was one of the
opponent.
strategists for
Enemy
Cao
officer
Cao, but
defeated.
he was also had a very powerful and long-standing lineage. So his lineage eventually would go to form the Jing Dynasty because they basically overtake the Wei Kingdom and then eventually defeat the Wu Kingdom and then thus the end of the Three Kingdoms. But eventually they do actually go to become next dynasty of China. So ultimately, none of the three kingdoms end up taking China, so to speak, but kind of, Wei won.
Enemy officer
So it's just
defeated.
kind of, fun information, I suppose. You'll see Sima Yi at some point during this. In fact, he's the last character we're going to defeat throughout this entire run. He's going to be the last character we take down in Wusheng Plains. We didn't have a bodyguard. So it's actually good for us if we don't have a bodyguard, because then we can just immediately go to the save screen and back out of it. But unfortunately, if I'm spamming too fast, I might take it to the do you want to save and hit yes, and then have to back out of that as no, we don't want to save. So remember, there's a cutscene at the beginning, so we're going to spam start here. Not too fast, though, because we don't want to get a start menu. As soon as that disappears. Now, Diashun's weapons are not great, so we're gonna take Zhang Fei. He's gonna run to the right here, ideally.
You've got guts. I'll give you that much.
And we're gonna take him out while not on the horse, because unfortunately things are significantly slower while on the horse with Diashun, because their weapons just aren't great. Okay. I still think that was faster than last time. Now, this is her last mission in her campaign, so we don't have to worry too much about post-game menus, but something you want to be very careful of while speedrunning this game is to avoid picking up items and weapons, especially weapons.
Coming to assist us.
A lot of the items, by the time you're at the point that you're speedrunning it and your characters are maxed out, you probably have the max versions of most of the items. The way it works in this is there are items that increase your attack or whatever, and it's like plus 20 is the cap one. But since we're playing on easy, there's a good chance we're not going to get one that's plus 20 anyway, so it's going to be like plus 5 or whatever, and it's going to be worse than what we have, so it's going to automatically discard it. You just put X and it throws it away. However, when you pick up an item or pick up a weapon, you will have to go through the menus to, say, oh, okay, yeah, I don't want this, discard. With weapons, you have to. There's a lot more confirming that's part of it. On the item menu again, like you just kind of press X and get through it. But regardless, if you can avoid it at all costs, you want to. So be careful not to pick up any items, not to pick up any weapons while you're in speedrun mode on this game. It'll just save you time.
Enemy officer defeated.
Wish to test the edge of
I might lose a little time here because this has been a little sloppy. That's okay though. Our time save's definitely going to come from our new out of bounds glitch. We'll see though. We'll see how fast it takes Cao Cao to spawn.
Wanted to see a land under Cao Cao's
He should spawn right here.
Enemy officer defeated.
Lu Bu,
There he is.
your end is near. Come and get me.
Enemy officer defeated.
So we're not too far behind here. A little slow in the start select. Okay, so now we're moving on to Lu Bu, which we're going to see the exact same level set. It's just going to go a lot faster because Lu Bu is a much more powerful and consistent character. Apologize, my voice is probably going to start getting a little weak because this is the second time I'm running this in a back-to-back session. I just set this record at 131.50, but now that I know that the out of bounds glitch is possible for Guan Yu, we're going to incorporate that into the run and hopefully save several more minutes off the run.
This isn't looking good.
We'll see how it goes. It depends on how many times we mess up the trick. I don't think that we're going to lose time trying to go for the trick, but it depends on how quickly we get the glitch, because it's not exactly 100% consistent, but we will get it, and I know that we can fail it several times before we start losing time. So we'll see how it goes, but we should see several minutes shaved off.
You're alone. You must have been drawn by my power.
Anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
As you can already see, this is much faster as Lu Bu. Ideally, we would have knocked him off the horse and then taken him out immediately, but even then. We just used a Musou, hit Yuan Shao once, and that was it. He's gone. Lu Bu was, I guess, indisputably the most powerful warrior of this time, and he is reflected as such in this video game. It's kind of a loose cannon. Ends up in a lot of hot water because he doesn't really play by the political rules and just kind of relies on his strength to handle all of his problems, and ultimately
Death to them
that's
all!
why he ends up
Exterminate
in the
them!
situation he does.
That's
where he
right.
ends up
Bring
being
on the
defeated.
entertainment.
And yeah, Cao Cao and Liu Bei group up to defeat Lu Bu. As you can see in the final level of Diao Shun and Lu Bu's
If they're so
story
eager
modes,
to die,
campaigns,
then
in fact.
we'll be happy to
You know,
oblige
on this side, you know, we win, you know, and defeat him, but in history, they did end up defeating Lu Bu and executing him.
You're by
And
yourself. You must have some
ultimately,
courage.
Lu Bu's second in command, Zhang
Hey,
Liao,
Yan Yang.
ends up joining
Wen Chou,
Cao
you
Cao
made it.
because he's a much more reasonable person and you know, is willing to join
Alone.
Cao Cao after Lu Bu gets
Drawn by
defeated.
my power.
And
Anybody
later
provide me
in
with a
the
decent
Wei
challenge?
history, at the Battle of Hefei, Zhang Liao ends up becoming he gets the title of the hero of Hefei because he saves the day. That was a battle between Wu and Wei, much later in the story.
And this...
Okay, so we're racing back through. Same levels we just did as Diao Shun, so there's not a whole lot of new stuff happening right now, but we are being able to clear it a lot faster, as you can see. So, on this level, it might seem a little strange that we're going out of our way
will
to
attack
take out this
Gongsun
officer on the
Zan.
west. Since
Lu Bu,
normally,
head for the
for these
summit and hold
missions,
off the
you know,
enemy.
which you can see in the upper middle section of the map there, there's a little pulsing red dot, meaning that's the enemy commander. We kill the enemy commander,
Let's
and
just watch how things
and you know
play
the
out.
level ends. Well, unfortunately on this one, you actually it's part of the objectives on this level that you take out the enemy commander, obviously, but you also have to
Lu Bu
take
is
out this
falling
guy
into
right
an
here in
enemy
this
ambush.
case.
And B.
It's mandatory. You can't avoid it. If you end up going and killing the enemy commander without taking out this guy, you will have to eventually
hold off
come
and
over and
regroup
take him
with our
out before you
host.
can actually complete the level. So we just go ahead and rip that band-aid off and take him
shouldn't
out
separate from the
immediately,
lead
and
army.
then we're going to run over to the enemy commander, take him out, and get us out of there.
I don't trust Lu Bu.
So you need to be careful here not to get dismounted. You want to try and run back and forth against the wall when you're waiting
dare
for
cross
to open,
blades with
because
me?
the NPCs will
I shall
definitely
be
take
your
advantage of the
opponent.
fact that you're not moving very much. Try to keep you
About
off the
time I
rails.
faced a
Definitely
worthy
wanna avoid that
opponent.
if you can.
Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge? Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
Alright, on to the final stage of this campaign, and then we're on to Dongzhuo.
And you did.
Interestingly enough, as you could see on that previous level, there were Liu Bei and friends on that level. You saw Guan Yu, Liu Bei, Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun actually started off following Gongsun Zan, and then eventually, not really turned, but joined Liu Bei instead. And Zhao Yun kind of, you know, ended up becoming one of his major officers. He was one of the 5 Tiger generals. In the Shu
All
Kingdom,
right, quit messing
there were
around.
5 Tiger generals that served
too
Liu Bei,
dangerous to head
and,
out.
you know, it's just an honorary title.
We'll
but
outlast them if
basically,
we
they
stay
were
within the castle.
the leaders
Are
of
you
the
too
combat
scared
for
to
them.
face me?
And it was Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, Zhao Yun,
Can anybody provide
Ma
me
Chao,
with a
and
decent
a guy named
challenge?
Huang Zhong, who we won't see in this campaign.
Come on!
But
I dare
interestingly
you to
enough,
attack me.
most of those characters actually have an
Yuan
Overwatch
Shu's
skin
army
that you
is
can
coming
get
to assist us.
during the
Hang in there just
Chinese
a
New
little
Year
bit longer.
event. Torbjorn can
arrive
turn
any
into
moment.
Zheng Fei. Reinhardt can turn into Guan Yu. Hanzo can turn into Huang Zhong.
Can anybody provide me
There's
with
not a Zhao
decent
Yun
talent?
or a
No!
Ma Chao
Our
skin,
escape route
but
has been
the
flooded.
way that
The enemy is all
Ma
around us.
Chao
We
is
need
generally
help.
depicted is actually a very
Like a job
similar
for
looking
Zhang
skin
Liao.
as Zarya. It just looks like a dragon, but if you look at many of the depictions of Ma Chao, his armor looks very similar to Zarya. I
Can
don't know if that
anybody
was intentional or
provide me
not.
with a
I
decent
may just be
talent?
stretching here, but the first time I saw the skin, I thought Ma
Can
Chao.
anybody provide me with a decent challenge? I fear no man. Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
Lu Bu, your end is near.
Move!
Cool.
Can anybody provide me
Should
with
be able
a
to save some
decent
time
challenge?
here. There it is, 0.8. Okay, so next. Next is Dong Zhuo. Alright, let's keep it moving. Alright, so we're going to see this level once on this faction and once on Zheng Jiao's faction, which is the other side. They're both very strange factions for a level, but Dong Zhuo
Once
and
I've killed
Zheng Jiao
off all
have a level
those
against
crazy
each other,
fools,
and we just happen to
all
play
the
both
world
of their
will know
Musals
my
and
name.
both their campaigns in this category, so we'll see both sides. You won't see it as any other character, but you'll see it as these two. And we just happen to be playing both of them.
Let them be crushed like insects! Prepare yourself!
Gonna run around here. I don't want to just run against the wall, even though it'd be fastest to be doing so, because these archers are going to
Enemy
shoot him
officer
off of
defeated!
the horse. So I'm going to wait for this
must
dialogue
retreat.
box.
For now.
Enemy officer defeated!
Right now, I'm just waiting for the
This will
fanfare.
do.
Okay, so
That ought to
that
clear a
message
path
right
for
there
us.
should be the okay to get against this wall, because then the bridge appears. But if I just stand there waiting for the bridge to appear, the archers are going to shoot Dong Zhuo, and then I'll fall off my horse and have to remount, and it's just annoying to deal with. So it's better off just running into the archers and knocking them over and kind of keeping them from being able to shoot me and saving myself some time.
Let's see how you fare against my
So now we just need to
illusions.
rush the enemy commander and we're out of here.
How are we supposed to attack these things?
You'll see some crossover from the
source
previous
of their
two
magic.
officers.
I shall
We're gonna do
teach you the
Xi Shui
basics of
and
strategy.
Hulao Gate next. I'm sorry, no, we're gonna do a battle against the
You
non-mon.
over there!
No,
I'll
not the
deal
non-mon.
with you myself!
Okay, so we're gonna do a
officer
battle against Ma
defeated.
Chao and Peng Bei next. Sorry, and then the last two levels of his campaign are the Hulao and Xi Shui Gate levels. So we won't. No other character sees this next level that we're going to see except for Ma Chao and Peng Bei, and they're the opposite side of the table. So it's a somewhat unique level, which is kind of interesting, I suppose. But ultimately, we're just going to rush the enemy commander, and it's over.
Liang will soon be mine! Kill them all, leave none left standing!
My spear will put an end to these shameless villains.
Come and get me, wretch. Come and face Pang Day.
Let's settle this between us.
All right,
Enemy officer defeated!
easy enough. And now we're going to see a repeat of Diaoshan and Lu Bu's first two levels. We're going to start off with Xi Shui and rush Yuan Shao and take him out, and then we're going to start Hulao and we're going to rush Yuan Shao and take him out.
And this...
Squash them like bugs! Don't let any get away!
So we're just gonna rush Yuan Shao here. Follow the path we did in the other characters.
I am
Get
here
this
for
over.
your head. Prepare yourself.
Shall we finish this with honor?
Enemy officer defeated.
And we're out of here. Alright, so one more level of Zhongzhuo and then we're on to Xingjiao. And then before too long, we're gonna see next mission. In fact, next campaign. In fact, we're gonna see Yuan Shao, and we're gonna see that out of bounds glitch in action. Hopefully, save us a few minutes off the run. And we're gonna see it again later. So, I think we can. I think sub 1 hour 30 is definitely in our sights now with the implementation of the out of bounds glitch in this category. I'm very excited that you can actually use it in this because I was afraid that the only level so far that I'd been doing that you could put it in is
Death to them
Chengdu.
all! Exterminate
So,
them!
there's time to save in the
I
shoe
too
category.
shall raise a
on that.
weapon for Lord
But
Dongzhuo.
now you can also save time in this category.
Why are you
with it.
sending Jiao Chan to
And what's
fight?
interesting too is that a lot of the shoe characters also play Guandu, the level that we're going to be using it in this category.
Don't let any enemy officers
So that's
pass
a
the
second
Hulao
level.
gate.
That's
I
2
have a
levels in
reputation
the
to
shoe
uphold,
campaign
you
that we'll be
know.
able to use the out of bounds
they're
glitch
so eager to
whenever I
die,
go back to
then
run
we'll
it,
be
which
happy
will
to
probably be
oblige.
before too long. But considering the previous estimate was 4 hours and 45 minutes, which I think that my record's like 4 hours and 40 minutes. I think that it'll be closer to 4 hours now with the new out of bounds glitches, and maybe I'll set up to do it tomorrow. I don't know
When
yet.
show
But it's a pretty large amount of time to say, hey, I'm going to be doing this.
Shall we
So,
finish this with honor? Attack! These scoundrels are no
No,
match for
I
us.
just need to set aside some time to do that.
These rats
So if I take out Yuan Shao before he says,
Enemy
shall we
officer
finish this with
defeated.
honor, I don't have to actually deal with him being enraged. Cool. Still save time. Look at that massive time save. It's not actually about the time save right now. It's if you are looking at a category that's an hour and a half long, and you have runs that are within 0.1 second of each other, with or without some amount of slop, it means it's consistent, and that's good news. Consistency in really long runs is good news. Obviously we'd like to save some time. We were 0.6 seconds behind. We'd like
Go
to save some
straight for
time,
the altar.
but
Hit
the
these
fact that
heretics
we're
right where it
that
hurts.
close to a previous run is that's very good news. So now we're going to race through these levels to Yuan Shao. We're going to see very similar to what we just did on the other characters, just on the other side of the table.
For your
So-
judgment.
We're going to rush Zhang Jiao in the middle here, and last time we
Prepare
definitely had some
yourself.
slop on this level, so we should be able to save some time as long as he doesn't give us too much resistance. So he's on the ground, and then double solid, blocking. There we go. Nice, it was much faster.
Enemy officer defeated.
And now we have to hope when we get to
Why
the
do you
non-mon
deny
levels that
the
we don't have quite as
glory
much
of
trouble with the
heaven?
elephants as we did last round.
You can't fool us with your childish tricks.
Now we have a cutscene when the next level starts, so I need to be ready on start. Like an actual cutscene, not an event screen, a cutscene, which is going to come up right here. Right after this. There it goes. There's a cutscene at the beginning of the Hulao missions where all the leaders are standing together, and you see Cao Cao upset with Yuan Shao because they're kind of at odds. Because they're like, at this point in China, they were both like
Forward. Subdue this band
in a
of
way,
scoundrels.
I guess they were
Move
both
out.
like
Our target is Sishui
the
Gate.
most capable.
We have arrived in support of Master Yuan
of
Shu.
ruling China outside of the Emperor, and they were both very aware of that. And it kind of put them at odds
We
with
shall
one another.
swallow them whole.
See if we can get as lucky this time with Huashong. Last time we were able to swing through our horse and take him out on the other side of the horse without him
The enemy
backing
commander
off
is mine.
or getting hit away from us. So see if we can get it back quickly again. We definitely saved time in the previous missions.
Well, shall we put an end to all of
See,
this?
it's the same situation with this horse.
Which
A little bit of blocking going on. But we were
Enemy
taking it
officer
quick.
defeated.
Good. Alright, so now we're on to the Battle of Mount Chang, which... Drawing a blank. No! Thankfully, that doesn't really lose much time over the bodyguard screen. It's just the potential to save time. I threw it away. Oh, this one. Okay, so... Again, we're going to rush right through this gate captain. This is, I believe this is faster to take out the gate captain and then go west as opposed to just running west and then running north. So as long as the gate captain doesn't give us trouble and he just goes down,
We will
quick,
attack Gong Sun Zan.
should save time here.
Lu Bu, head for the summit and hold off the
Right,
enemy.
save time over the alternative. The PB already has it, so there we go.
I have come for your head.
So we're going to take out this gate captain. Remember, it's the same set of
Enemy
rules
ambush.
for this as it
I'm
is
not
as
going
with
to give him the
Lubu and
chance to
Diaochan. So
steal
we need
any
to
of
take
my
out this
men.
officer inside.
You better help him
So we
before
might
he
as well
turns
just
on
dismount.
us.
Alright, he's down. We'll get on our horse. We need to break into the castle and take out the enemy commander.
It's
and we're
about
outta here.
time I faced a
And then we're
worthy
going to go on
opponent.
to
Enemy officer
Wandu, where we're
defeated.
going to see the out of bounds glitch. Very nice. We were able to take him out before the
They're so eager to
Guan
die,
Yu and
then we'll
Xiao
be
Yun
happy
were
to oblige them.
talking smack. Or is it Guan Yu and... Yeah, I think it's Xiao Yun.
It's time to
Does it
finish
leave
this
a- I don't
once and for
remember.
all.
Two officers are standing there, and both of them have dialogue because they're, main characters. Cool.
Enemy officer defeated.
Alright, so here we go, everyone. Let's see if we can get this out of bounds glitch the first time. Save several minutes.
And this. Don't bother with strategy. Run them through.
So we're not going to fool with anything. We're just going to run out of bounds, take out Cao Cao, and we are out. Now, fingers crossed, everyone. We're going to get this first try.
This one's mine.
The enemy commander is mine.
Take that guy out just to prevent any issues. Actually, let me line that up a bit more. I'm not happy with it.
This isn't looking
It's
good.
gonna waste more time to save and quit
Yan
and it not
Liang
work.
has fallen to my blade.
I think that's it. I'm not sure if I got it or not. We'll see. Come on. First try. Nope. Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is still, you can see the timer over there, so you can see at what point we'll be behind, and we are not there yet. Okay, we're definitely through that one. We're definitely through. I think I need to wait for that to be absolutely positive. There's a chance that we'll get through without it being quite so obvious, but when it's that obvious, we know we're in, and I think I want to wait for that. Definitely during a marathon run, but I think I should during normal runs too. Okay, so we have about 2 minutes to end this level and still have saved time. And this is with a failed attempt, so this should speak to just how, good this glitch is for the run. Alright, and just like that, we're out of bounds. And we're making our way over to the enemy commander. We don't have to fool with the objectives or anything like that. The gate's coming up right here.
Let us bring it in.
That's it.
Enemy officer defeated.
There we go, guys. There it is. Okay, so on the other side of the table, when we're playing this as Zheng Jiao, we don't have to spend as much time worrying, we don't have to wait for the bridge to appear or anything. We just rush Dong Zhuo and get this over with, so that's a plus.
Attack! I shall be your opponent.
We're trying to just make sure that we're taking the most direct paths as possible while we're doing this. No, red hair is very fast, so we're able to get across maps like this, especially really quick.
And what gives you the right to hunt me down?
Heaven has judged you. You will pay for your crimes. That's one more disbeliever converted.
Okay, next is G Province, which is the one against Yuan Shao. Now, there's a lot of time save on this without any, glitch or anything. There's just a lot of time save on the non-mon level, which is the one after this next level, because the elephant encounters took way too long. So I'm hoping this time we can get Meng Huo off his mount and that level over with it a little quicker. See how it goes. But for now, we're on the G Province, and we're going to go ahead and get this over with. We're just going to rush Yuan Shao, take him out, and move along.
Go, my children! Release the altar at once! Then we shall bend the sky to our will!
Something that's also awesome about this game is that any of these levels that I've already done before, especially the ones that I've already done the same, I've done that level on that faction, we've been there and we've done that, it's just a different character. It's also really ideal for, marathon runs because there's plenty of opportunity for donation readings or blurbs or anything like that. So that's something I think that will really,
Go, my children!
Count for this game. But something I'd like to see are just more marathon runs of Dynasty Warriors in general, especially with this new out of bounds glitch. And in this game, I can't speak for the other Dynasty Warriors games. I know there are much shorter categories because a lot of other ones have ILs and they have particular character Musou modes, but with this one in particular, you get a nice comfy run. You get to sample a lot of characters, and now, especially in this category, which is really only two. There's really only two factions that have been. Okay. There's really only two factions that are kind of optimized, which the shoe category really isn't optimized, but there's only two that have been optimized as much as they could, at least at the point that they were run. Unfortunately, with the other one, with the Wu category, it's not that it wasn't that optimized. I think HRG Goose did a good job with the run, but something I do notice is that his characters weren't completely maxed out. I don't know if his characters had all their best weapons. They might have, but the characters being maxed out is definitely going to, help it be a little bit more optimized. Like, I don't know how much time it's going to save off the run, you know, to have or not have the characters completely maxed out, but I think that it would definitely save time for them to be maxed out. Alright, so now we're on to the non-run one. And bless RNG for good elephant combat here. Now, the Woo and Way categories are categories I want to get involved with eventually, but unfortunately there's a ton of prep work that has to go into this run. It's not just something you can pick up and start speedrunning. Like I said, having your characters maxed out and stuff is going to improve the speed. And like, for example, getting red hair. Like, red hair is an absolute necessity, but you will have to earn red hair to be able to speedrun this game, I think, appropriately. Like, you know, you're not going to be able to get around these levels anywhere near as quickly if you don't have it. So I think it's an absolute necessity. So, I mean, even something as simple as getting red hair is going to cost time to get before you can start speedrunning. But on top of that, you want to make sure that your characters have all their best weapons. You want to make sure the characters have, you know, at least decent stats. They don't necessarily have to be maxed out. And all of that takes a lot of time. And something I'd like to do in the future is have a, you know, perfect save file, you know, with every character maxed out and every weapon unlocked and every item unlocked. You know, to be able to share with people at events or something. You know, if I interacted with them, you know, we could copy the save file over to their memory card so that they could speedrun Dynasty Warriors 5 if they wanted to. And hopefully that would get more people involved. And hopefully eventually we can find someone out there, a glitch hunter. And this is a challenge for anyone out there, any glitch hunter out there. So you can find a way to make Ching Ban take less time. And we're going to see that level later, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if there's a way we can get through Ching Ban without having to wait for Cao Cao to spawn, which takes between 11 and 13 minutes, I would be very grateful, and I think the speedrun would be that much more exciting because we could definitely cut down on the estimated times for the runs for this game, which I think, you know, ultimately that's kind of the goal with any speed game, is to make it faster. Alright, where is he?
Don't think you're going home in one piece! Our armor troops are without equal.
Oh yeah? We can do better than that!
Run up, sir.
What kind of voodoo is this?
I won't be denied next time.
There we go. You can get pretty lucky when the elephants are stopping, the rider kind of dips down a little, and that would give us an opportunity to knock him off. Even though that wasn't that clean, it was still much better than the previous one, so we'll save time. I'll take it. Alright, so we've got Sing Jiao. We have one more level, and it's the Yellow Turbans level, where you have to take out every officer. So I'm hoping this time again we can stick to what we did last time and manage to take out that northeastern officer before he starts traveling more northwestern officer before he starts traveling east. And we can do that. It's a little too slow there to skip it entirely, but we can do that. But we need to make sure we get through the rest of this level very quickly, because there's a point on the timer where the officer suddenly decides, okay, I'm going to start traveling east now, and we really want to avoid that, so we don't have to go chasing him. It saved us a lot of time last run.
Do not give in! Do not waver!
Because you not only have to waste the time chasing him, but then you have to waste the time backtracking to get to the final officer. This stage is a bit different than the other ones we've seen, because you actually have to clear out every officer on the enemy side. You can't just go kill the enemy commander and it's over. You do have to clear out every officer. So we're going to start here with Wong Fu Song.
Do you think you can stop me?
Sun Jian, lead your army to the altar now!
Sun Jian, you are now a servant of the Yellow Turban.
I hate when you get in these defensive stances. There we go, okay.
Is this the end?
Unfortunately, that was not as quick as last time, but that's okay. We're moving on to Sun Jian. There's going to be a cutscene here that unfortunately I can't skip.
I hit pretty hard. Think you can take it? Again, we have the events turned off in the option menu, which lets us skip a lot of
a lot of the in-level kind of events happening. But if something on the map changes, like something like a bridge spawning or a bridge breaking or catapult spawning, or in this case these tornadoes spawning, unfortunately there's no way to just skip the video because it does have to play to kind of like load it in. However, we took out Sun Jian before the video, so it looks like we're going to be skipping it. It could still happen. I'm not entirely positive, but it usually happens because Sun Jian gets too close.
I'm gonna kill every last one of these rebels.
Alright, so we're going to take out Heejin here, and then we're going to take out Cao Cao. We need Heejin to spawn, so we need to take out some of these enemies.
Punish the heathens! Heaven shall exercise.
Now, the fire is a bit unique with his Musou because a normal guarding will not protect you from it.
It's time to finish this once and for all.
That's one more disbeliever
That double
converted.
attack. Just a random drop, but it definitely helps.
The enemy command.
Is he down? He's down. Alright, moving on. The enemy commander.
It's my ambition. Not enough to conquer the land.
Okay, now we've got Liu
That's
Bei,
one more
Dong Zhuo,
disbeliever converted.
Dong Sun Zan in the northwest, and then I forget who the other officer is, but we're going to take him out too, and then we're out of here. We're on to Yuan Shao. No, not Yuan Shao. Neng Huo.
That you have
Sorry.
to die.
My oath in the peach garden.
I should have saved this for Dong Zhuo, the
That's
Musou
one
Rage.
more disbeliever converted.
Maybe I'll be able to get some of it off on him.
The
So the
glory shall
Musou
be
Rage, the
mine.
yellow thing, the glowing thing on me right now, it increases your stats immensely. Like you can see the enemy officer right now kind of like glowing with this
Worthless rats.
glowing, and you know, he's kind of like hazy or whatever. He's technically affected by the Musou Rage right now. And his stats are increased. So we're doing that ourselves. And it makes it so we can basically break through a lot of the officers' defense. So even though they're blocking, we might be able to attack through them. Fortunately, we were not quick enough this time to get to that officer in the northwest, and you can see him traveling east, so that's quite annoying. That happened because we had a sloppy fight with Sun Jian, and then we had a sloppy fight there with Dong Zhuo because his sub-officer... Now, he didn't go too far east, so it's not so bad, but his sub-officer tried to use a Musou on us while we were using Musou, and we ended up in a blade lock. And, yeah, so that just cost us a little bit of time.
So, my
so that officer's
was
down,
not
and we have
enough.
one more.
That's one more disbeliever converted.
He's just south of us, so we're almost out of here with Jing Zhao. I'd say for an officer, like for combat, this officer, Jing Zhao, is definitely the slowest. Like, he is not... He's, in my opinion, the least fun,
Hit me with everything
and he's
you
the least
got.
consistent. So we're happy to... We're always happy
my
to see
might was
his
not enough.
Musou done. Done. Okay, so on to Meng Huo. That is annoying that we have to deal with that. But I think the out of bounds glitch is definitely going to save time over having to click through a couple more menus. I'm still surprised we lost time there, to be honest, though, because the elephant section didn't take anywhere near as long. It's okay though. It's okay.
We'll destroy the base at the enemy's rear.
Great! I'll stay and guard this place with my life!
It might be worth
Meng
doing.
Huo, you think you have what it takes
It might
to
be
lead
worth
us?
actually overwriting. Well, no, because then it's not quite the same
It'll
as
take
free
more
mode
than
where you
just
just
you
save.
to
You have to
stop
actually
me.
select the save file.
Prepare yourself.
Still, maybe saving
I am coming
maybe
for your
saving a Musou over one of the other save files might actually be quicker because you only have to do it once as
Okay,
opposed
we
to
give in.
we finished
You're the
Yuan
king,
Shao and then
Meng
we'd have to
Huo.
do it with Zheng Jiao, Meng Huo, Zhu Rong, and Zhuo Si. Every time we start a Musou, we're gonna have to click that. You know, yes, I want to continue. So maybe we can reduce the number of menus if we just overwrite one of our save files after one of the levels. So I think I'll try to do that as Meng Huo after this one. Alright, so we'll avoid the first elephant. And it won't avoid the first elephant. And then... Got him. Okay. It's worth noting that if you're Musouing, nothing can deal damage to you. So
Prove
even though the
yourself if you
elephant
want
ran
us to
into us
follow you.
while we were using a Musou, nothing happened.
It'll take more than just you to stop me.
Okay, so that guy's
Not
down, and
bad.
we're gonna wait right
We'll
here
be
for the
proud
next
to
guy to
serve you.
spawn.
We chiefs of the South pledge allegiance to no one.
So you Northerners have come to attack us, huh? Enemy officer devoured!
We mustn't let them steal all of the glory.
Oh, this officer made it past me somehow. I usually always catch him in the base, so...
If you want my head, come and take it.
Enemy officer devoured!
They will not get past us so easily.
Let's settle this between us.
Enemy officer devoured!
Cool. I'm hoping that the Wu level coming up here shortly will be as kind to us this time as it was last time with Ming Wu, because we got through the gate really quick. Okay, so I am going to save here. Okay, so that seems like it might have been a waste of time, but it's not, because it's going to prevent the number of menus we're having to deal with in the future at the beginning of Musal's because of the save and quit we did for the out-of-bound glitch. It's going to prevent the number of pop-ups we're going to have, basically, not necessarily... We're not saving.
And spread the teachings
Need to
of
keep that
heaven.
in mind. We spawn in the middle of a
Convert
base, so...
these savages. Let them see the light.
Okay, he's gone.
I'm not gonna let these lunatics have my land!
So what's nice on this side of the
I have
board is
come
that
for your
this
head.
base is an attack base as opposed to a defense base, so we don't have to worry about having to open the gate or anything. That's one of the nice things about there
Not
being
bad
attack
for
bases is that you can
starters.
just run right through them. Doesn't matter
We
if it's
cannot
friendly or
let
enemy.
them beat us.
In
We
free
cannot
mode,
let them
there
beat
seems to be
us.
some randomness to what kind of gate you end up getting, or what kind of base you end up seeing there, but not necessarily just on this stage, but in general.
Through me.
But on Musal modes, I
words
believe
of
that
heaven.
it's consistent which what
Listen
kind it is.
now
So
to heaven's voice.
anyway, attack bases are preferable because you don't have to fight your way through the gate. You don't have to get it open. You can just run it. Right here, for example, we're gonna have to take out this gate captain.
Score another one for
In order to
me!
get to the end. Well, he's down.
Just because we're a supply base doesn't mean we can't fight.
Okay, so
I shall
again,
teach you the basics
like
of
last time,
strategy.
Meng Huo and Zhu Rong are going to have the exact same Musal mode. So Zhu Rong is going to be faster because she's just a stronger officer. Her attacks are more consistent, they're stronger, and we don't have to worry as much about crap like that. Because, for example, it's a lot harder for Jing Jiao to block Zhu Rong than it is Meng Huo. He didn't die to the Musal because he was sitting there blocking the whole time, so he didn't hit him. You know, just minor things like that are what's going to be the little, you know, seconds or so time loss you're going to see throughout this run. Time loss or time gain.
And this
The minute time saves at this point are going to be the out-of-bounds glitch, which we saw once, and we're going to see again during the final character, Zhuo Si. But right now we have Meng Huo, then Zhu Rong, then we'll have Zhuo Si. We're also unfortunately going to have to sit through one of the 11 to 13 minute auto-scrollers as Zhuo Si when we get to him, but till then, let's talk about the invasion of Nanchang.
Quit
So this is the
making a mess
level
of our
with Wu
home!
and the non-mod.
Get out of here now
We're going to
before we
take the
make you
west
regret
path. Unfortunately, we can't just go up the east side because there's a wall in the way.
If they're so eager
And
to
from what I've
die,
experienced
then
with
we'll
the out-of-bounds
be happy to
glitch,
oblige
you can only ever escape the south side of the map. It may be worth looking into if you can go up the east side and go out that gate and then go around. That might actually be faster than doing this, but that's something I'll experiment with. I'll try it after the run. Unfortunately, if it is better, or it is faster, I might not be doing that today, but it is something that I'll definitely be improving in the future. I'm waiting for this last group to come up here.
Won't lose a second time.
Enemy officer devoured!
Okay. Everything's clear, the gate should open. We're going to get on our horse and make it out of this before the gate closes again. And as you can see, there's a unit right up here, so the gate would have closed pretty quick. So we got out well.
I won't be denied next time.
The nice thing about Menghuo and Zhurong's ultimates, or Musao's, is that they're both AoE, but Zhurong's is still better because of something I mentioned last round.
If I defeat you,
A lot of officers have
famous.
AoE ones, including Menghuo. But what you'll see at the end of it is a lot of times, you know, slam the ground and all the enemy units go flying away. And, you know, that's normally not so bad, like, casually. But as a speedrun, you know, we don't want to have to go... like, if you want... Sun Quan didn't die there, and we had to, you know, hit him a few more times to end him. We don't want to have to go chasing him. And that's something that a lot of the AoE officers end up, you know, causing is, you know, at the end of their Musao, they hit him away, and then, you know, you have to go chase him down. With Zhurong, when she does her ultimate, they don't go blasting away. In fact, they've dropped right where they are. They fall right to the ground. So, one of the benefits of her Musao is that, you know, you finish AoEing and probably killing everything, but let's say you don't kill the target you're trying to kill, you can, you know, immediately start attacking them again as soon as they stand back up, so.
Let's chew them up and spit them out!
Saves time from having to chase them. Alright, so on this stage, this is the Shu and Nanman final encounter. What we're going to do is take these shortcuts. Now, on the other side of the table, you can still use these shortcuts, but you don't see them on the map, so it's actually a benefit to be able to play these on the Nanman side. But we're going to cut through the map here in that shortcut, and then we're not actually going to take the other shortcut up north because it's a bit slower than just running around. But we're going to need to run around, take out the gate captain and cut through the gate, and then go take out Zhuge Liang, and we are on to Zhurong. Our second to last character, so we're getting through this.
Behold the power of my juggernaut.
It's important to note that
What the? It's spitting
7
fire!
of the 8 characters that you're going to see here take about 2/3 of the the time.
Enemy
and then that final
reinforcements
character,
are headed
that
this
8th
way.
character, is going to take the last third of the time. And unfortunately, a large portion of that has to do with the fact that that 11 to 13 minute auto-scroller is part of our run. Again, it's something I'd like to remove, but at this time there is no alternative. Like, you're going to have to play it, and unfortunately have to deal with the inconsistencies that are how long that level takes.
Battle is best fought with the mind, not the sword.
And
Enemy officer devoured!
excellent. Another gold split. Wait, no. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so now we're on to Zhurong. And again, we're going to see a repeat of what we just did, just with a significantly better character. Faster character, stronger character, better character. And we're going to just whoop some tail and move on to our final character here in a moment. So, in the meantime, something I would like to see is all of the alternate character, all of the
We'll destroy the base at the enemy's rear.
4-level Musao mode characters,
I'll stay and
or
guard this
campaign
place
characters,
with my life!
done in under an hour. I don't know if it's possible yet or not.
Menghuo,
Certainly
you
something
think
I
you
would
have
like
what
to
it
see.
takes to lead us?
So yeah, we're gonna just do the same thing we did with this Menghuo. First, we're starting with this North officer. It might be strange, like, why am I rushing this North one when I cut across, you know, later? But the reason I'm doing it is because he's actually, when I'm rushing him, he's actually running south because all the officers eventually rush this center point. So if we just cut him off and take him out, it actually, you know, cuts down the
It'll
amount of
take
time
more than
it
just
takes
you
for him
to
get
stop
here.
me.
And the last set of officers, the next 3 officers don't spawn until these 3 are taken out. So
I'll be your
can't believe I
opponent.
missed that. There we go.
Perhaps you've earned our respect after all.
Prove yourself if you want us to follow you. Not bad. We'll be proud to serve you.
Fortunately, my horse is standing right about where he's going to spawn. Now we're waiting.
We
chiefs of the South pledge allegiance to no one.
Alright, so now we have the last two officers, and we're out of this level.
So you
And as you can see, her
Northerners have
Musou
come
is
to attack
utterly
us,
ridiculous.
huh?
That ought to learn ya.
The animation's also really quick, so it's not a lot of standing around waiting for the character to kind of, slam the ground like with Ming Hu or whatever. It's just like darts, next.
That ought to learn ya.
And for those that are casually interested in this game, I would say this game is a bit more fun as a casual game than it is as a speedrun. So, when we defeat an officer, you'll see a sword or a shield or maybe a box or a little bag sitting there. Defeating officers and picking up the loot from the officers is how you improve your characters. So right there you saw attack +2. You want to defeat officers, as many as you can during levels. You don't necessarily want to race to the end because, that's how you're going to make your character more powerful, whatever. It's also how you're going to get better weapons. So something I would recommend is making sure, so there are two types of officers. There are officers and sub-officers, and you want to make sure that when you're playing this casually that you try to take out as many sub-officers as you can. If you go to the unit menu, or unit info menu, you'll see a bunch of officers, and then underneath them you'll see characters' names. You can click on the officer and it'll show you where their sub-officers are. But in the speedrun, we want to take out the main officer, because when you take out a main officer, the sub-officers retreat. But in a casual run, you want to take out sub-officers because you want to increase the number of stat improvements you get. It's also important to note that on all levels, on all Musou modes, which is kind of where you want to start, more than free mode, because you unlock the levels doing Musou modes. Anyway, you want to
I'm not gonna let these
you want to start off in Musou mode, and the level's difficulty will actually scale because you'll see it in free mode once you unlock the level. There's actually a difficulty modifier for each level, and it's important when you're first starting out that you pick up all the stat improvements you can off sub-officers, officers, whatever. Because if you were to just race through and finish the levels as quickly as possible and then end up on the final level in a character's Musou mode without having improved them at all, it's actually going to be really hard. Even if it's on easy mode, it's going to be pretty difficult because the character didn't level up and his or her stats didn't increase. Yeah, they might kick your tail.
There's another base fallen by my hand.
I shall teach you the basics of strategy.
Just because we're a supply base doesn't mean we can't fight.
Come, hit me with everything you got.
Yep. And now we're on to the Wu level, so this is the one where we're going to go on the west side of the map. Thankfully, Zhurong spawns much closer to where we want to be. And again, we're going to get our horse set up right outside the gate. We're going to go clear the minions, and we got to get our horse back before the gate closes again.
Get out of here now!
It's actually a hindrance. It's kind of odd. It's a hindrance to have friendly defense bases because they're always going to keep their gates closed if there are enemies nearby, and that includes to you. It doesn't open for you and it's closed for enemies or anything like that. It just stays closed. So we want to make sure to get all these guys pulled up, and we're just going to moose on and take them out.
Won't lose a second time.
So now we're going to go get our horse and hopefully get out of here before the enemy minions get too close. We did. You can hear the gate closing again right there. So, it's a pretty tight window, and if you're not being careful to remove all of the units at the same time, and it kind of gives the NPC, the computer, an excuse to spawn a group to get there faster. If you take out one unit significantly before the other units, it might think, oh, well, we need to replace that unit as quickly as possible. And then you have one, rogue unit coming in, and all of a sudden the gate closes and you're stuck again. And then you're having to wait for more units to come in so you can clear them out. it's important that you wipe out all of those units at the same time. That way that doesn't give the computer an excuse to spawn another unit to send south to, fight. It tries to keep the combat going between the NPCs, make it more interesting.
Coming to fight alone? How foolish!
That ought to learn ya.
That Musou is completely insane. Alright, so now we're on to the Shu, the final level in Zhu Rong's campaign, the Shu mission.
And
Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing we did last time as Meng Huo, except we spawn a little bit more north, so it'll actually be a shorter mission overall. Outside of being, better at combat, it's going to be shorter anyway, because we're actually spawning closer to where we want to be. Now, it's important when you're running throughout these levels, when you get into combat, you want to make sure you have your Musou ready, especially on a character like this, with the AoE. So, as you're running through enemy units, it might be best to kind of get some auto attacks in or something. Get your Musou full. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have that when we get up here, but it shouldn't hopefully be an issue. I'm hoping to be able to take out this gate captain without having to get off my horse.
Lock up the bases before they come out!
Didn't you ever learn your manners? Now get off my property before I throw you out.
Ungrateful beast, my blade shall tame you.
That was pretty lucky.
Alone?
Okay.
I can't tell if you're brave or just foolish.
They're trying to take the base. Stop them!
Getting dismounted wastes a lot of time, so we want to avoid that if possible. Alright.
Looks like you have lost track of your surroundings.
That's it.
That ought to learn ya.
There we go. 2 minutes. There we go, boys. Alright, final character. Here we go. As long as everything goes well here doing Zhuo Sui's campaign, we should be able to see that sub 130.
Cao Cao, lead your army east. Sun Jian, you attack the center. Meanwhile, this force of volunteers will head around to the altar in the west.
Behold the mystic ways of the yellow turban.
There's a cutscene here. So, that tornado that just spawned, that's why the cutscene happens, because it's actually spawning something.
Aim for the one controlling the
we somehow skipped that during Zhang Zhao's earlier. I think it's because we were able to take out Sun Jian before he reached there's an arch back there that I think it triggers the cutscene. So, that's good for us. Unfortunately, we can't skip that on the other side, because as soon as we run up this eastern side, it's going to happen. But it's not a big deal. You just press start and cutscene's over. But ideally, we wouldn't see any cutscenes. But those ones that cause a change on the map are still going to happen even with the option turned off. So I think it's actually going to be quicker here.
There must be some kind of device producing these phantoms.
Yep. I have defeated them. Dismount immediately, Musou. Don't use the mounted Musou.
The era of
Infidels! You will spread your heresy no more!
Okay. So for Hulao Gate, it's a little different on the opposite side. We can't just rush straight to the camp. We have to kind of take a roundabout way, because you can't run in the main gate. Excuse me. You can't run in the main gate unless you take out Lu Bu. And
Let's bring these scoundrels down for good.
We really want to avoid that, because even on easy mode, Lu Bu can
So
like,
you must be looking for
it's
trouble.
pretty unlikely that he's going to kill you, but he still isn't like a 1 or 2 shot officer like most of the characters.
Easy enough.
Because he's enraged and because he's Lu Bu, they crank up the difficulty on that character. On any of the difficulties, they crank it up. And we don't want to mess with him. We just want to go around the outside. The amount of time it would take to kill him and get back on our mount and then run into Dongshuo would take longer than just going around here to begin with. Unfortunately, it would be nice if we could just cut straight through the castle and then go in there and take out Dongshuo.
Good luck if you think you can break through our defenses.
You're here by yourself? Don't think I'll take it easy on you.
So Zhuosi has 8 missions in his campaign, or his Musou mode, and all the other characters in the other category have 4, so he's going to take notably longer anyway. The fact that he has to do the chain run is going to make it even longer.
I have defeated an officer.
However, we are just rolling on through the missions here. We're on to Guandu next, so we're going to see the out of bounds glitch again, and hopefully we can get it on our first try. Last time it took us 2 tries on Yuan Shao, so hopefully we can improve that this time and save even more time off our previous PB.
And this
You spawn pretty much in the exact same point as Yuan Shao when you played as him. So we're just gonna run straight south and then clip out of bounds. It's worth noting that on our previous PB, we also had a really bad
Don't bother with
chain bond
strategy.
because we had 12
Run them
minutes and
through.
44 seconds in game time, and that's about as slow as it can be because Liu Bei was about to escape the mission anyway.
I'll be your opponent.
Now, previously, we were having to take this base, get Guan Yu off the map, take another base, kill 3 officers, take another base, kill an officer, take another base, and then we could kill Cao Cao. But we're not doing that anymore. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to run down here to this southern base, kill this gate captain and get him out of the way. We're going to clip out of bounds and immediately rush Cao Cao and get out of this mission. Let's see if we can get it first try here. So we're going to line up with the gate, kind of tilt our character, and yep, that's it. We got it. We got it first try. So we're going to interim save. Saved. We're going to save and quit. And then we're going to continue. Load back into the mission. And we're going to be on the outside of the gate. And we're going to be allowed to run on the outside of the map on the south part of the mission. So you're going to see us kind of leave the mission for a minute. Like we're going to leave the map. And what's nice is when you're out of bounds, it doesn't actually check for walls. So around the maps on a lot of these, there's mountains and things. We don't have to deal with that when we're out here. There's no collision because it's not really looking for it because it's not expecting you to be out here. So we're going to cut back in. You can see the gate right up there that we're going into. It's going to kind of forget where we are on the map, and then we're going to pop back in. So there we are. We're in the enemy base, and we're on Cao Cao, and that's it. No more objectives. It's over.
I have defeated an officer.
Now that was fast. Okay, so now we're on the Changban, the auto-scroller and the bane of this run. Now I mentioned too that I run the Shu category where we're going to see this level about 10 times. So at least it's not that, but we are going to see this level once. This mission can take between 11 and 13 minutes.
We must escape
and there's
with
very
our
little I
lives.
can do to improve
We
it.
will secure
But,
the base and launch a fire
we're going to
attack.
do everything I can. I'm going to do everything I can to try and make this level as fast as possible. And that includes
Wipe them
having to go
out.
and take bases that seem kind of unnecessary, clearing out officers. Honestly, I think what might have taken
this base.
made the level take too long last time is because I didn't defeat the officer in the ambush unit to the south. I think I definitely
Task
need to
unit.
make sure that I take him out
Begin
this time
construction as planned.
because the fact that I missed him might have been what caused it to take so long. Alright, so this time I didn't quite reach this base in time. The enemy ended up taking it. And I'll just take out the guard captain. And you notice on the map how there are all these red dots, and as soon as I get out of range, they're all just going to disappear. which you can't really see it because that big spiral was on it, but that's kind of what happens in this game. As soon as you leave range of the base, it's gonna like make it disappear.
I have conquered this base.
Now some of the units got through, which is very annoying. I'm gonna have to go through and clear them out. That doesn't normally happen, but it only doesn't happen because we normally take that base. Unfortunately, we're just a tiny bit too slow. I don't think I really did anything wrong necessarily, but sometimes they just beat you to it. The bots don't really play this game fairly, so to speak, so...
I won't be denied next time.
Alright, so we'll take him out.
I have defeated an officer.
We're going to go and take these two bases down here, and then we're going to go and clear some of the red dots that are up here.
Hey! Zhao Yun! You finally got here!
I need your help. I must return our Lord's child.
Like I said, this seems a little unnecessary to have to go in here and take these bases because they're so out of the way, but in the long run, when we're dealing with the ambush units later, it will save a lot of time for the enemies to not take these bases. So we're going to come down here, take them, and then leave. NPC combat is dictated by the morale bar that's up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You'll see it's like a slider. It's mostly blue right now and only partially red, and it's like that because we're kind of kicking their butts. But as you can see to the east and the center, there's some conflict going on. There's little red glowing dots, red and yellow glowing dots, and we really want to try and minimize that. So that happened because we weren't able to take the enemy base before they were at the very beginning. So it's an unfortunate side effect of that. But we ran to the base as quickly as we could, and they still took it, so be it.
You can stop me?
I don't know if we took it. Yeah, we got it.
I won't lose a second time.
So now what we want to do is focus on making sure that all of these officers up here in the north are taken out. But we also want to try and remove as many red dots as we can. We want to take out this gate captain, because these gates kind of, they don't really spawn units because there's not a gate. I'm sorry, this base, not a gate.
Such impressive skill.
We want to make sure this guard captain gets down. Just anything that's going to contribute to the red dots in the map, we want to try and get rid of. There's an officer right here you can see on the map. It's that white, red, glowing dot.
Are unharmed.
You can see there's always a unit in these groups that looks a little different than the others. That's the unit captain. You'll see it as like a sergeant or a major or a elite guard or whatever.
That's it for me.
Those units are actually what's being represented on the map. So the little red dot, it doesn't mean there's a unit of bad guys. It means that unit right there, that major, is still alive. So if you take out the major and then leave the screen, the red dot just disappears. You don't actually have to go through and eliminate every single unit within the unit. You can just take out the leader and then leave, and the red dot will disappear. So that's what I'm going to try and maximize on in trying to clean up this level. I'm going to try and reduce the number on any level. We're going to try and reduce the number of kills we have, the number of officers we're taking out. That's not always possible because it's beneficial to defeat all the officers or what have you. But ultimately, the more officers and the more units we're killing, like every 50 or whatever, and it shows that message, and maybe an officer says something like, "You're doing a good job," or whatever, is going to slow down important messages. Like sometimes there are dialogue boxes that actually trigger things to happen on the level, and on levels like that, we really want to make sure we're minimizing the number of, you defeated 50 enemies or whatever that are appearing, because it's just going to delay how long it takes for that important message to appear. So we're definitely going to try and take out gates up here. We want less units. We're going to take out Shah Dun, and as soon as we do, the reinforcements are going to appear. Now, it's important to note that it's not as simple as just going through and removing these reinforcements to spawn Cao Cao. But as soon as Shah Dun gets defeated, it's going to spawn the first unit of reinforcements, which it's
Judge this foe.
what Cao
I have defeated an
Cao
officer.
Hong and Shu Huang, which is Cao Hong's gonna spawn right around here, or Cao Hong, Cao Zhang, sorry. And we want to take them out, but ultimately defeating these reinforcements is not what triggers him to spawn. It's just he will take longer to spawn if they're not already dead. But unfortunately, there are other triggers happening here that are dictating how long it's going to take Cao Cao to spawn. And I'm not entirely sure what they are yet, but I can try to reduce it as much as possible. So, there's still research to be done on this level to try and make it faster. But for now, we're just getting through it as quickly as we can.
But I shall put a stop to this. My quest for strength. I have defeated an officer.
Okay, so now we're going to, as you can see there, that officer just started running through the gate after we defeated Shu Huang. We don't have to actually defeat him at all. And that's because, yeah, so there's the last set of reinforcements, and that happened because we defeated the other reinforcements. That happened because Shu Huang was the commanding officer, and Han Hao was the sub-officer, as I was mentioning earlier. If you defeat the main officer, the sub-officers will retreat, and we don't have to deal with them. Now, if you're playing casually, you might want to take out Han Hao first, to try to make sure you're getting as many stats as possible, because you're trying to improve your character. However, we're going to rush south here and take out these reinforcements, and then we're going to head to the northwest part of the map and just wait. Unfortunately, that's the best we got, to wait. We're going to take out that red dot in the map just because it's going to rogue and clean them out. We don't want Liu Bei to interact with it, because it's just more time we're having to wait for Liu Bei to move. And Liu Bei moving is what ultimately is going to make Cao Cao spawn. Getting a little lightheaded. I think I need some food, some water. I'm talking a lot more than I normally would. Again, this is my second run in a row I've done this. Not that I mind having to do commentary myself at all, but I'm not used to having to do an hour-and-a-half run with good commentary, because I want to make sure this is a good submission video for marathons. As much as I would like to get some help with a commentator for a marathon run, I don't have anyone that I could rely on for that at the moment, so I want to make sure to provide enough. And, hopefully this run has been entertaining with the commentary. Okay, so this time we made sure he's gone.
Hey,
so
way to go!
we won't have to wait for him to be defeated for. I think what happened is I ended up defeating the wrong officer. But we won't have to wait for him to be defeated for Cao Cao to spawn this time. And Yue Jin is going to retreat immediately. Alright, so there's the first set of allied reinforcements. There's going to have to be 2 sets of allied reinforcements before Cao Cao will spawn. We just got the first one.
Leave the rest to me.
I think that's a forced thing too, because that happened last time. Well, no, because we didn't end up killing the the enemy reinforcements in the south because I botched it. Not sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and head up to Cao Cao's spawn point. We're just going to wait. After this, we have four more missions, including the next one, which will be is actually that's the fastest mission in the game.
Defensive positions. We must let the people escape.
And we'll just take out that major and leave, and then the other one will respawn. We're going to stay right here. And Cao Cao's going to spawn right on top of us soon, and we're going to use our Musou, and the level will be over. Thankfully, we only have to see this level one time, but I'm hoping that it's going to be quick.
I devote my skills to Liu Bei's great virtue.
So now the allied reinforcements should spawn here momentarily, and Liu Bei will start heading east. And then when Liu Bei hits a certain point when he's traveling east, Cao Cao will spawn, and we'll get out of this level.
Master Liu Bei, this way!
We're next.
I know it sounds like
we
a broken
must all
record
live
at
to
this
fight
point,
another day.
Just remember that the shoe anthology will see this level about 10 times. So we're only seeing it once in this category, so it's a major improvement in terms of time. But, you know, I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to make this level faster, and I think at this point we have the fastest available, unless we can find a glitch or, you know, some major discovery that will let us end this level, you know, a lot faster. With Liu Bei just making his way east, because we went through and wiped out all the units to the south, he's not going to stop and fight anyone, so that's definitely going to save time, because I'm pretty sure that Cao Cao spawns based on how close Liu Bei is to that escape point, which if you notice in the lower right-hand portion of the map, there's that waterway, the kind of like big waterway, kind of in the northern section of it. When he hits that gate in that northern section, is like he'll run out of the gate and then it ends the level and he escapes. Now it's still quicker to kill Cao Cao, but unfortunately this is a, you know, the game playing itself right now. We have to wait for him to spawn so we can end this. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We should see a pretty solid PB here, PB/world record, so hopefully that's exciting. I hope you guys are enjoying the commentary. I'm kind of wearing my voice out, but it's worth it. We also get to feature the out of bounds glitch twice this run. Took us 2 tries the first time and 1 try the second time, so pretty massive time saves. You know, we saved that minute 15 seconds on Yuan Shao, and then since then we've kind of built up some steam. Lost a little bit of time on Zheng Jiao, but it's no big deal. We're a little about 2 minutes ahead, and then we got that out of bounds glitch, which we'll see as well. So we should see an even bigger time save coming up here soon. And Cao Cao spawned, and we got the level over with. So on to Escape from Chibi, 12:48. So it was actually slower. It was even slower than last time. So that's really unfortunate, because you can see that level end sometime around 11:45, somewhere in that area. So it's really unfortunate. But you know, again, like I wish there was something we could do to get out of that level faster, but I don't know. I don't know what it is right now. I'm hoping that, you know, maybe one day, you know, I am really trying to get this in the GDQ and really want to show off a Dynasty Warriors game, because there never has been a Dynasty Warriors in a GDQ.
Lord Cao Cao,
but
I believe my debt to you
I'm really
is
hoping
paid.
that if it does get in GDQ, that we find some people enthusiastic about running, and hopefully someone that's more of a glitch hunter or has the resources available to glitch hunt to figure out exactly what it is that caused Cao Cao to spawn on that level. Because if we could figure out what that is, I think we might have a better understanding and a better chance of finding a way to get him to spawn faster.
Quick, cut open a path.
So unfortunately, Cao Cao is not going to be stopped here. That's why my horse keeps neighing whenever I hit him.
My thanks.
At that time, I wasn't even touching him. Get off the horse. Come on, game. There we go. Losing time here. This is actually the fastest level in the game, and it's possible to take him out before he even hits the bridge, but it was taking a little longer. There, I kept bumping into him with my horse. I honestly should have just gotten ahead of him and dismounted, but it's okay. You can see this level completed in about 35 seconds when you're doing it in free mode. Just trying to, you know, honestly, it's the best level to, that and Sushui Gate are the best levels to go and change your character's loadout, you know, to the more ideal loadout, or, you know, maybe you got an item upgrade or whatever. Unfortunately, you can't change your character's equipment without being in a mission, so you have to end up,
begin the advance.
Like the most efficient way to change your character's gear would be to set the gear and then go and play a level like the one we just did that's very quick. Set the gear, play the level, end it as soon as possible, and then save and exit. Because there's not like a, you know, equipment menu without being in a mission, like I said. So, you know, that's really your only option. Unless you're, you know, you want to play a particular mission, you'll set the gear beforehand, play it, and then save it. those are your options. But if you're not really trying to play the character and you're just trying to change their loadout, you know, it's actually faster to just go play a quick mission like that, and then finish it, save and quit. But the saving in this is a little strange. There's no, like, you can go to the main menu and save, but unless you saved when you were leaving a level, like let's say I complete this Musou mode or whatever, unless I save at the end of this level, it won't actually save anything about this Musou mode. It just forgets that it happened. Okay, so 2 more levels. We're on Yiling now, and then we'll have Wuzhang, and then that's it. That's time. So here we go. I think we're definitely on pace. I think to get that sub 130. So that's the goal right now, and I think it's going to be pretty big actually. I'm going to change the estimate for this to an hour 35, which is 10 minutes less than what it used to be. So you know, the shorter we can get it, I think the better chance we have of getting this in the marathon. But now that we have, you know, a pretty exciting new glitch that we can, you know, get out of bounds, I think, you know, that's definitely an improvement for its chances, but I think it's also just a more entertaining run to watch. We'll see. I'm certainly trying for all you Dynasty Warriors enthusiasts. We're trying to get this into a GDQ.
Beat it! Get out of my way! I'm not letting anyone get near Zhu Rong!
Is this one of the enemy's tactics?
You should have brought your allies with you.
Come and fight me!
I have defeated an officer.
Okay, here we go. Let's get that sub 130. Looks like we're going to save like 3 or 4 minutes off the run just with that one glitch.
This battle is fated to be my last. Therefore, I must use it to fulfill my master's wish. We have come a long way. We must protect our supply line.
Master Sima Yi, we have brought what you ordered.
Ah, it's here. This will change the tide of the battle.
You should have brought your allies with you.
Hug
That's
the right
as far
here.
as you go.
Is rock
Eat
spawn,
this.
but if you're hugged the right, there's no chance they'll hit you.
They're trying to take the base. Stop them! Think you can fight all by yourself?
Right.
I have defeated an officer.
Time. There it is. 3 minutes 20 seconds from the glitch.
We were able to emerge victorious from the battle with Wei. It would seem that Sima Yi was no match for me. Such a pitiful ending.